We all have 24 hours. All right, what makes some of us average, makes some of us good, some of us great, is not the family you was born into, right? It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with your socioeconomic status. It has everything to do with how you command your life.
I want you to write down everything you need to do to have what you want. Go do that. How many hours would it take to get what you want? How many reps would you have to put in? What's your thing? You want to be a millionaire? You want to be an author? You want to be a rapper? Like, how many words would you need to learn? Would you need a vocabulary of 2,000, 5,000? So then that means you need to get a dictionary. You need to get the swords. Like what? You need a tennis racket if you want to play tennis. You need to find a court or a wall. Are you hearing what I'm saying? What do you want? You can get it if you work. You can't get everything from the W, the I, the S, the H. You can't get everything from wishing. You can't get everything from the W-A, the N, the T. You know what I'm saying? You can't get it because you want it. If you put in the work, they can't deny you. If you put in the work, they can't stop you. If you put in the work, commitment means staying loyal to what you said you were going to do long after the mood you said in left. One more time. Commitment means staying loyal, staying committed, y'all, to what you said you was gonna do. I want to play football. I want to go to NFL. I want to go to NBA. I want to be an engineer. I want math. That's what you said. Now you woke up and now all of a sudden you up and you're not feeling it. You woke up and you lost. You woke up and you tired.
All right, and let me tell you something. You don't know how many days you have. Like, I'm just gonna keep it 100. You don't know how many days you have left. You don't want to be wasting days. Like you're not God. Like you don't create. You can't wake yourself up. You don't know how many days you have left. You can't be playing with the days you have on foolishness. So you have to learn how to control yourself.
Finished last will always be better than did not finish. Finishing last will always be better than you didn't finish at all. And if you finish last, you can look behind you and see a whole bunch of jokers that didn't finish at all, which always trumps didn't start.
Because if I put my energy into something negative, automatically my body's gonna respond and I'm gonna start doing negative stuff. That's the way the body is designed. You talk negative and your body does negative. You talk negative, you get diseases. You talk negative, mentally certain things happen. I'm not stupid. I know how to talk negative. Nobody got time for that. So it's no secret. You are where you are because you focusing on stuff you ain't got no business focusing on.
It takes time. It takes practice. It takes failure. It takes getting up. It takes you trying it again. It takes doors closing. It takes people walking out. It takes time for you to get to your success. There is no such thing as an overnight success. There is no such thing as you just got lucky. No, you got to put in the work. And the hard truth about life is that it's going to take time, which means you cannot rush this process. It means that you got to slow down. And it means you have to appreciate where you are while also looking forward to where you're going.
The problem with many of you is that you got fooled, you got complacent, you got lazy. Somewhere along the line, you lost your enthusiasm, your optimism. You lost your hunger. I'm never full. I have too much to accomplish to be satisfied with where I am right now. I have too much on the line. I have too many people depending on me to win. I must stay hungry.
There are gonna be people out there in the world right now that don't understand the significance and what it takes to put in work. You can't just play around and pretend that you're something that you're not. Because in this place of business, the title is Show Up. Show up and ready to work. Show up and ready to dig. Show up and ready to push. Show up and ready to run hard. You did not come here to hold yourself back.
If there's anything I can pour from my heart, if there's anything I can give you in this moment, my greatest piece of advice is to protect your hunger. You show me a man who is failing, and I will prove to you that he is no longer hungry. When you are hungry, you are creative. When you are hungry, you are innovative. When you are hungry, when you are no longer full, when you are no longer satisfied with where you are and you raise your standards, it is only then that you can have your future. If you can stay hungry, you can get the resources. If you can stay hungry, you can get the strategy. If you can stay hungry, the ideas gonna come. If you can stay hungry, the connections will be aligned. If you can stay hungry. I'm gonna tell you this right now, some praise can be poison. This is what happens when people keep telling you, you're so good, oh, you're so great, or you did so good 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 2 years ago. If you continue to believe that your best work is behind you, then you will never achieve what is ahead of you.
What is it gonna take for you to wake up and realize that in this place, there is no easy? Easy is not the way to go. You can't get strong being easy. You can't get faster being easy. You can't be the best makeup of yourself being easy.
If you are gonna have the body of your dreams, that six-pack, bicep, tricep, it's gonna take time. Time in the gym, time eating right, time. If you are going to have the business that's blowing up, that everybody's looking at and hiring people, and it's gonna take time. If you are gonna have the mindset, and if you're gonna have the legacy that's gonna last, the legacy where you can pass something down to your children's children, it is going to take time.
Go ask any athlete, actor, musician, philanthropist, it doesn't matter. You ask anybody who is a champion, and the difference between them and their opponent is they were more hungry for it. I don't care if you gotta listen to me 1,000 times, I need you to get crystal clear about your future. Because the only reason why you are here, the only reason why you're alive is because you have work to do. And you gotta figure out, why on earth are you here? What is your destiny? What is the dream that God has given you? You gotta have like a shark mentality, because if a shark swims backward, it dies. A shark can only move forward. And so I need you every single day you wake up to smell blood and go after that dream.
So the hard truth about life is that success, greatness takes time. But if you wait for the right time, I promise your moment's gonna show up and you're gonna be ready to handle everything that God has for you.
We're all carrying things in our pack. All of us are carrying these stories that are imposed by other people, by friends, by family, by society, by Instagram. And what happens is, when we are faced with a challenging situation, we approach it with all of that stuff. Some of you believe the stories that you've made up in your own head. The story of I'm not good enough. The story of I'm not academically inclined. The story of I'm not a morning person. The story of I can't really make new friends. The story of I can't really have an impact on the people around me. And now listen, I want to be abundantly clear. I'm not the guy that's going to come in here and tell you what stories to tell yourself, but I want you to get back to the place where you can start telling yourself better stories. Stories that you are enough, that you are charismatic enough, that you are courageous enough, that you aren't like them, and that's okay because you are like you. I believe when we stop believing the stories that we tell ourselves in our own heads and start telling ourselves new stories, stories that are actually aligned with who we are and who we would like to become, that is when we are able to change ourselves and change the people around us. But I want you to raise the question within yourself of defining the snake in your life. That thing that keeps on coming up that it is time to face. Because here's what I know. Every single person in this room, student and faculty, has something that comes up that tries to get in their way, make them want to quit and turn around and walk away. And what I know to be true is defining that thing for you is the only way to be able to overcome it. We talk a lot about leadership going into a new school. How do you show up as a leader in this school and the community around it? True leadership is leaning into the things you're afraid of. True leadership is consistently choosing courage instead of fear. True leadership is having the courage, the audacity to take on challenges, things that don't make you feel good, while inspiring other people to do the same. It takes courage to make a new friend. It takes courage to stand up for that person that you see on campuses isn't being done right. It takes courage to wake up a little earlier instead of late, to join that student group, to put yourself out there more than you thought that you could. It takes courage to live a great life. So make the decision today of what courageous act are you going to make for yourself and the people at this school. It starts by taking on the things that you can actually affect, that you can control, and that you can impact, because I see way too many students coming into college and university that allow themselves to be defined by what happened yesterday. They allow themselves to be defined by what happened last week. Some of you in this room think because of one failed test that you are a failure, when the reality is those are moments, not characteristics. And my personal belief is that we need to start seeing those moments for what they are, moments.
I hate plan B. When you start doubting yourself, that's very dangerous. Because now what you're basically saying is that if my plan doesn't work, I have a fallback plan, I have a plan B. And that means that you start thinking about plan B, and every thought that you put into plan B, you're taking away now that thought and that energy from plan A. And it's very important to understand that we function better if there is no safety net, because plan B becomes a safety net. It says that if I fail, then I fall and I get picked up and I have something else there that will protect me. And that's not good, because people perform better when there's no safety net. People perform better in sports and everything else if you don't have a plan B. I'm telling you, I've never ever had a plan B. I made a full commitment that I'm gonna go and be a bodybuilding champion. I made a full commitment that I'm gonna be in America. I made a full commitment that I'm gonna get into show business and I'm going to be a leading man. No matter what it takes, I will do the work. I will do the work over and over and over until I get it. And the same was in politics and everything like that. So to me, it is very dangerous to have a plan B, because you're cutting yourself off from the chance of really succeeding. And the reason, one of the main reasons why people want to have a plan B is because they are worried about failing. What is if I fail, then I don't have anything else? Well, let me tell you something, don't be afraid of failing, because there's nothing wrong with failing. You have to fail in order to climb that ladder. There's no one that doesn't fail. Michael Jordan said in one of his interviews, when they said, "You're unbelievable, you're the greatest basketball player of all times." And he says, "Well, you're just mentioning the successes." But he says, "For me to become the greatest basketball player, I missed 9,000 shots when I was playing basketball at the NBA games." So during these games that he was so successful, he missed 9,000 shots. Does it make him a failure? No. He's one of the greatest basketball players of all times, but he failed 9,000 times. Do you get it? We all fail. It's okay. What is not okay is that when you fail, you stay down. Whoever stays down is a loser. And winners will fail and get up. Fail and get up. Fail and get up. You always get up. That is a winner. That is a winner. I failed in bodybuilding. I lost bodybuilding competitions. I lost powerlifting competitions. I lost weightlifting competitions. I had movies that went in the toilet and that were terrible and got the worst reviews. And in politics, I remember I had many of the initiatives on the ballot and we lost. My approval rating in California went down to 28%. And then it went back up again and I won again the governorship. Hey, we all lose. We all have losses. This is okay. And this is why I say don't be worried about losing, because when you're afraid of losing, then you get frozen. You get stiff. You're not relaxed. You got to be, in order to perform well in anything, if it's in boxing or if it is on your job or with your thinking, is only happening when you relax. So relax. It's okay to fail. Let's just go all out and give it everything that you got. That's what it is all about. So don't be afraid to fail.
They say a mind is a terrible thing to waste. The mind is so powerful. It's so unique. It can do many things. And you are the one that is responsible for the thoughts that enter your mind. How do we, as individuals, as people, get away from misery? How do we allow ourselves to elevate the game, to go higher than we've ever gone before? How do we escape from the misery? Because misery has no place in your life. Misery is exactly what it is. Misery doesn't bring happiness. Misery is on a mission to take everything away from you. What is misery doing for you? What has misery done for you lately? Has it given you everything that you need? Has it made you a better person? Do you feel that all you know is sorrow? Why do you allow misery to handcuff you, to chain you down? The mind is a powerful weapon. It belongs to you. And everything that you think, therefore you shall be. Be greater than your fears. Be stronger than your doubts. Because your mind is very powerful. Bring in the goodness. Absorb the right energy. Moving with a purpose. Conditioning your mind is what this is about. Every day it's not going to be a good day. But every day is a blessed day. Because you are above the ground. You are walking tall. There is no time for sorrow. There is no time to give up. This is the opportunity. An opportunity of a lifetime. Make your mind matter. And put aside the things that don't matter. misery. It will continue to do all that is necessary to succeed. But the time has come for you to succeed, for you to believe, for you to stand tall, for you to understand that you got a mission, and your mission is not done yet. Today is that day. And when and if tomorrow comes for you, be even more powerful. Be stronger than you've ever been. Rectify in yourself. Believe in yourself. Keep that faith in yourself. Don't let the outside interference stop your growth. Don't let those that doubted you and said that you did not have it hold you back. Don't let the losses keep you down. Because if you're down, how would you understand what it means to get up? What is good about being miserable? Resurrect yourself from the pit of darkness, because misery doesn't have the right to control your life, your mind, your abilities, your faith within yourself is all that you need. The steps that you take in your life, it's a process within itself. It won't be easy, but you don't deserve easy. Easy is not something that you should be looking for. Embrace all of the challenges that are necessary, but you continue to fight forward. You continue to believe in yourself. When the rest of the world says no to you, you say yes to yourself. You say yes, I believe. You say yes, I can do it. You say yes, nothing can stop me.
And I want to talk to the person who spends all your time talking about every problem you have and what's wrong and what failed and what's messed up and how it's not coming together. I need you to do me a favor. Stop talking about your storm and start talking to your storm. That's right. Stop talking about the cancer and start talking to the cancer. Stop talking about the depression and start talking to the depression. And you got to look at your depression and say, depression, you got to get out my life. You got to get out my house. Why? Because this body doesn't belong to you. This mind doesn't belong to you. You got to stop talking about the sickness and you got to start talking to the sickness. And you got to tell the sickness, you got about 3 hours. You got about 3 days left in my life. You got to start talking to the chaos. You got to look your Goliath in the face and say, Goliath, I'm not backing up. I'm not backing down. You got to stand flat foot and talk to your storm. Stop talking about how bad the job is. Start talking to the job. You got to wake up every morning and say, this job is great. This job is good. This job is blessed. And because I have this job, I'm walking in on assignment. And because I'm in my assignment, I just know that this office is going to be filled with the best stuff that it needs to be filled with. Why? Because you stopped talking about it and you started talking to it. Talking to poverty. Stop talking about poverty and start talking to poverty and say, poverty, you are not welcomed in my life. Poverty, you are not welcomed in my home. Matter of fact, I crowned you a landlord right now. You are the landlord of your life and you have the right to serve an eviction notice over every tenant in your life that don't belong there. I dare you to serve an eviction notice over cancer. I dare you to serve an eviction notice over poverty. I dare you to serve serve an eviction notice over lack. You got to tell lack, get out my life. You don't belong here. You don't need to be in this room. Get away from me. Why? Because I am the landlord here, and I speak to my storm, and I tell my storm, peace, be still. You gotta say something different. If you wanna see something different, you gotta say something different. Many of us, we love to read motivation. Many of us, we love to hear motivation. You can't just hear motivation. You got to speak motivation. You got to say what I'm saying. Don't just hear it and walk away from the video. No, you got to stop and say, what I just heard, I got to repeat. And come on, right now, you got to hear what I'm saying and you got to repeat it. I am winning. You're not losing. I'm winning. Come on, I'm overcoming. I'm getting through this. I'm overcoming this challenge. I'm going to get through this mountain. I am gonna make it to my destiny. I'm gonna see my promise. I'm gonna reach my future. I am gonna build my legacy. I am gonna have these kids. I am gonna find that special person. I am gonna get this degree. I am gonna buy that house. I am gonna do it. I'm not just hearing it. I'm gonna speak it into my life because my words can change and shift my world.